So today we are going to Miranda House to speak to the unstoppables, that is students. Special thanks to ECEL Miranda House for being so supportive and lending their campus to us for this shoot.
Hi, I'm Lakshita. I'm currently a second year student pursuing economics honors from Miranda House. When talking about Unstop, I'd say it is an integral part of every college student's journey.
I have also used the Unstop platform to practice a lot of coding questions, and I have completed the full circle as I'm interning at Unstop with the content and tech team.
I got to know about Unstop via competitions and I realized Unstop is a valuable platform for students.
Unstop, I think, has been a crucial part of my MBA journey. Asian Paints Canvas competition being the major part of it, wherein we also went on and won the nationals.
I'm very glad that I got an opportunity to participate in various competitions hosted by companies at Unstop, and also even hosting some of them by myself for my college events.
My association with Unstop has been nothing short of extraordinary. From hosting competitions to participating in a plethora of them to eventually working as an intern in the operations vertical, the journey has been tremendously beautiful, and I look forward to even remarkable conversations.
I really like coming to campuses because the best part of my life, I think in those a bit less than 4 decades, has been the college life, both in UG and PG. So what was your biggest highlight of your college life? Let's pick that as the first question. Everybody, if you can tell me maybe 1 or 2 highlights of the people who are doing PG, one UG, one PG, and for the others who are doing UG, just the UG as such. So we'll start with you.
So one of the major highlight in my college, like my college life, is the experience of elections. Right?
Elections.
Yes, I contested for the election of the general secretary, but eventually lost by a mere margin of 3 votes. So I've seen we had all the alliances that built up. Right, we had an alliance of 3 hostels, and the opposition alliance had 12 hostels with them.
And we're talking about IIT Delhi.
Yeah.
Just.
And in that case, I just lost by a margin of 3 votes. So I feel like this was
So
an
how many
experience.
people were competing?
2 of us were contesting for the same post.
Okay.
And there's an system of alliances. Like hostels are the things that.
So did you do propaganda?
Yeah, we campaigned and we.
Nice.
Played the whole political games and all such stuff, and eventually.
Tell me something about these political games within campus.
Okay, so there's an interesting thing that runs elections are coming within 2 months, right? So all of the preparations have been started. So people, one of the major thing that you might find interesting is the fielders are the juniors. Those are the first and second year students. We just ask them, we show them the photograph of a person, that this is the guy you need to look every time whenever he goes out of hostel, where he goes, whom he meets, with whom
The
he is
opposition
spending
party, so to
opposition
say.
party people. So in that case, we need to figure out who is betraying
So
us.
what are the benefits you give the voters who vote with you or
benefits?
for you?
No, there ain't any monetary transactions. It's all about the it's out the how do we approach them, or how do we approach their seniors who
And
will
are you
be
allowed
guiding
to
them.
put posters?
No, that's the thing. That was the thing that I was discussing with these people. Like the elections in DU is entirely different from what it is in IIT. We ain't allowed to campaign digitally as well, and it's all about reaching out the electorate members directly and coordinating with them.
Had this happened this year itself or last year?
I lost previous year. I'm in my
Previous
fourth
year.
year. When I was in my third year, I
Third year.
contested for the general secretary.
Nice. That would have been a very, very good experience. I've
very
only
good.
seen or heard about campaigns in Delhi University, where that again the Congress and BJP goes. Yeah.
The whole
Nice.
the thing is, people tend to get more involved in politics once they receive, or maybe once they are brought into by their seniors, right? So the fielders who are doing this task would be the political leaders of their hostels afterwards when they might be in fourth year and something of that sort. So yeah,
Nice. Awesome.
eventually,
That would have been fun.
yeah, that is the thing that I really enjoyed.
No, I'm sure. And being on top, right, when everybody is hooting for you, chasing you, that gets your rush. Yes, ma'am.
I had a very simple college life, 9 to 5, and my first 2 years were online. So the time when we should have explored Delhi, like after doing JEE, I was so excited. Oh, I'll explore Delhi. I'll go here, there. It was all COVID era, and then the third and fourth year when we are offline. So, but yeah, for me, the best part was being part of societies. Like I have been president and leaders of almost all the societies of my college, and I love to conduct host events. And like I was part of the society called Enactus, where we were part of an NGO like Afghan refugees and all, and we used to go there, like meet them, ask them what's going on in their life, help them, provide them. We used to make various projects also for their support and guidance. So it was like, apart from that, it was a very basic life, like going to college and then coming
Apart
back.
from it, kuch nahi hota. This itself is too much. And I hope you do all your events on Unstop.
Yeah. I got to know about my events from Unstop only. Like first I participated in the B plans at Unstop. I won one also. I am Indore one. So it was a B plan and we were national finalists. And after that we started conducting and hosting events on Unstop platform. It was Dare to Compete at that time. So I know about Unstop from then only.
And let me tell you a story about the name transition. When we changed from Dare to Compete to Unstop, you won't believe, within I think 10 to 15 days, we went live on 1st May. By 10th of May, I had 10 to 15 hate emails as to why did you change from Dare to Compete to Unstop. We love D2C, we love Dare to Compete. It gives us that push in our minds that hey, we should be competing and all of that. We don't see any sense in changing the name, Ankit. Roll back.
It's a very
We
big
can do
transition of
campaigns and all of
changing
that.
name.
Yeah.
And it was a successful hit, of course. Unstop is a name in itself.
I know. That was the point.
The idea was to basically expand to things more than just competition.
I think, see, there are two or three things. Okay, so one was definitely that we wanted to go beyond competition. We wanted to have an active name, and we want to do everything wherein we are helping talent become unstoppable. And that's where Unstop comes into the picture, that the talent should not stop, right? The second element I think was that direct to consumer, so everybody starts saying D2C, D2C,
yeah.
and then we were like, yeah, Google पे हम ऊपर आ भी पाएंगे. If anybody writes D2C, should it be Dare to Compete or direct to
D2C is
consumer?
something.
So and then many people also started, some of them, not many, Dare to Complete. Their numeric 2 is TO. So those elements also start coming into the picture. And at that point in time, we were about, I think, close to about 1 million users. So we took the call there itself that if you want to expand from 1 million users to 10 million to 100 million, I think even if some are not that happy, this is probably the right time, because we need to ensure that the brand, whatever name we choose, should be very, very well recognized, crisp, and it should be action. It should not be just a word that you just sort of hear it for the sake of hearing. That's why. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, coming from the place that the humble background that I come from Lucknow, I have
I
been.
was there in Lucknow yesterday, so I know that humbleness. लोग हम बोल देते हैं यार, and
Exactly.
लोगों ने बोला हम, मुझे लगा 2-3 जने आ रहे हैं, आया एक ही.
Right. So, I mean, the transition was very difficult, and I'm completely a family guy. So, just adapting to a new
So you have a
city.
wife? No?
So, adapting to a new city, a new college altogether was something which was very difficult at the first go. But I believe just communicating with diverse people from college as well as societies really helped. I think the opportunities I got in terms of just participating in competitions or just being a part of societies really helped. I believe so the basic structure is that you get to be junior members in the first year, and then you hold cabinet positions in the second year. So I was a cabinet member in the human resource development cell of the college, and it's not considered probably as per the college statistics in the tier 1 societies, right?
But
But
the societies also have tiers.
I mean,
Tier
yeah,
1, tier 2.
apparently. So I kind of set about making this a vision to kind of make HRDC known to everyone in the college. And luckily, we had our annual fest, my inductor, last year, and we were able to call sharks from
Oh,
Shark
nice.
Tank. Um,
Who was it?
it was the Alags. And none of the tier 1 societies as such were able to tap such speakers, right? So, I mean, it was an achievement in itself. And I think just like that, I have gotten a lot of opportunities. Currently, I am the president of an NGO. And I think that really keeps me grounded, at the same time helps me take care of the administrative side of things. And management is something that I'm really inclined towards. So I think that I would say would be the biggest highlight of my college.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, hello. So, two major highlights during my MBA in FMS Delhi. Firstly, that I was a part of the placement cell.
Yeah, I was about to ask who is part of placement cell.
So, placement teams and MBA, it's a
Both
different
years?
story. No, the first
For
year.
first year.
Yeah. So, the thrill of conducting those placement weeks and coordinating with companies.
And shouting
handling,
at other students.
handling
know
the
the drill.
backlash, all of that. So yeah, it was an experience in itself and shaped me in more ways than one. And another one was like I took part in multiple competitions via Unstop. One was Asian Paints Canvas competition,
yes.
and we went on to win the nationals.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so I think
This
that
year or last year?
this year.
This year.
So I think that was a core MBA memory for all of us. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. For me, I would say societies are obviously a very integral part of, especially DU students. So, likewise, I was a part of debating society. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a very, value addition as well as fun part of my college life. And then ECEL, and so one.
So you were part of both societies at the same time.
A lot of societies, but these were the two most important.
And you guys were also part of too many societies.
Four societies.
Why can't they allocate one student, one society so that everybody gets to choose?
That is not what happens. That is, everybody is like part of 5-10 societies, and then I think
We'll cut this out.
Actually starts like first year we are in almost 5 societies, and
Yeah.
then every year the number of societies are reducing. Like till final year you are president or head of some of the societies.
Because I mean,
yeah.
it's like if you get a leadership position in the second year, you have to, there's an exclusivity clause.
And you know what? I was intrigued by these designations. President, society name, director, society name, CEO, society name. And I was like, we with so big companies are not also giving those designations. Yeah, I mean, in my college days, so I was part of the finance committee of the college festival, right? Managing all the finances. So I was just head or co-head finance committee.
It's like president and not the CEOs and VPs. It's just like heads, business development head, operations head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
so. Like there's a hierarchy. There are 4 core committee members, and then there's like the extended core, which has like all the operations or marketing, finance heads. That is how it goes. Yeah. Now on to my college experience. I'd say one thing that coming to DU was that we could literally attend anybody's speaker sessions, be it the sharks or even like politicians like Mr. Jaishankar, Smriti Irani ji. So that was a very new experience to just see your idols live. So yeah, that, and also like the
That happens
library-
in Delhi University.
that happens in Delhi, and it's like normal for us now. Like okay, ठीक है आ
आ
जाते
जाते
हैं,
हैं।
ठीक है
Modi ji आए?
आ जाएंगे.
Yes.
So in both of my college experiences, there has been a common thing which is like the different kind of people you get to meet and the diversity you meet. So when people talk about you are the future of a nation, some people just think, oh, they're going to go to some job and they're going to do it. But what I've kind of observed is people, they are really actually very unique, and like what I've learned in the class is actually very less compared to what I've learned from my colleagues and outside the class. So like the discussions like these, so usually I can't meet people like this if I'm working in a job, probably in the same field, but you can't have a conversation like this. So this kind of thing happens a lot. You're sitting in your canteen, you're just talking about a concept. Like, let's say I'm interested in film, somebody's interested in neurobiology. So how would a person, like, where do a person who's interested in neurobiology and film get a chance to meet? They kind of talk about themes that are very related, sharing ideas. Maybe especially in engineering colleges, I think you can find a lot of entrepreneurial spirit there. Like everybody wants to like develop something, find something. So one of the interesting thing that happened in my undergraduate was the SAE thing, which is a formula. Like, I'm a mechanical engineer, so we build race cars. So that was a very cool experience. Like, I literally did not think, like, that's exactly why I wanted to do my engineering, and that part was amazing. Like, we were all novices, we built a race car, like we raced in it.
So I was a computer science engineer, and trust me, I never thought that I'll create a robot. So during my engineering day, I created a maze navigation robot, and that actually opened the whole mind into a different trajectory, because as a computer science, you're coding, you're creating softwares, right? And when I got that chance, it was very, very good. And just to on the other part, I didn't do it in the first 3 years, but in the fourth year of my engineering, what I started doing was that whenever I used to go to the canteen, right, I used to sit on a table where I see somebody else sitting alone, rather than me taking a table who's sitting, and I sit alone as well, because at the end of the day, there are only 5 or 6 items in that canteen, right? Maggie, paratha, and the others, tea, coffee, and all. So pretty much everybody is eating the same stuff, right? But that sort of started that conversation and your connect, right? We all in MBAs, we all always talk about networking. I think these are intangibles, right? Those networking and talking to other people, which are very, very critical. So since all of you mostly you've been part of societies.
Yeah, I'm also part of Unstop.
So Unstop, yes, yes. So there are always certain gaps, okay? So before this podcast, I've spoken to many CHROs who have sort of given a sense in terms of what skills are they looking at in the talent, right? And I think we all agree that somewhere we don't get to have those skills through our books, right? And in my view, these societies play a critical role. So any two of you may want to sort of just very tangible ones in terms of what is it that your working in your society taught you.
So what we personally did was we conducted a lot of seminars for our batchmates to participate. Like, so we had expertise from the previous year, our seniors, who would then come and tell our students, so you have to do this and this to win this kind of competitions. That was actually very helpful. Right now in our batch, I think IMI, if you have some data, you can go and look at it. This year we have improved a lot in terms of participation and winners. Like, I know one of my batchmates, his goal is to get student of the year, and the way he is going to do it is by winning 100 and 150 competitions or something. So we have a point system where if he wins a lot of competitions, and he's doing it all through Unstop. Without Unstop, I don't think it would have been possible for him to even like go for that goal, which is kind of actually very cool when you think about it. A lot of people, like, they just do competitions as a resume pointer, but he's just doing it. It's like he's playing a game, online game, where he's just applying to competitions and winning it.
That looks easier. I mean,
Yeah,
difficult than.
a lot of work goes into it.
Okay, anybody?
I
Yes.
liked it.
Yes.
If I'll be honest, like, I have hardly attended any classes in my college life, like in third 4 years, so not at all. Like, it's near to zero. And the only reason I go to college is for my society work. Like, it's just a call and someone says, oh, we have to go here, we have to do this work. I'll be like, okay, I'm coming in 5 minutes. So yeah, societies have been a very crucial and integral part for my personal development. As in my school life also, I was the one who used to anchor and host assemblies and all. And then in college, like, first 2 years were online, so we didn't got that much time to connect and network with people or to know people from different domains. But being part of societies, like for example in Actis only, we used to connect with NGOs from all over Delhi, from different areas, and like getting to know their problems and everything. it developed us at a very personal level as well as professional level. Like being part of business development, I was also handling operations, I was also checking for sponsorships, I was managing and doing everything, so it was a multitasking thing. So I feel like the books and everything are fine, especially in engineering. Like, first of all, people say engineers are very introvert. That's not true at all. Like
Those are coders, nerds.
yeah, no, like engineering is apart from laptop also. Like, I don't like to sit in front of laptop. I am a people pleaser. I love to talk to people. I love
You know, that's why only 20% of the people who pass out in any college actually pursue their career in engineering. All the others are non-techies pursuing management, operations, sales, and other roles also.
Yeah, before my parents decided that I'll do engineering, I already told them that I'll do MBA after engineering. That's for sure, because I just can't sit in front of a laptop or desktop and just do coding for 24 hours. I need to walk and
So
talk. I
which
need to
MBA
interact.
college are you going or want to go?
I recently gave CAT without any preparation, but I'm definitely looking for FMS,
FMS,
and
yeah.
IIMs for sure. But let's see where it takes.
No, all the best, all the
Thank
best.
you so
Coming to
much.
you from the placement committee, do you think, and you would have seen companies shortlisting resumes or so, right? So let's be open about it. Do you think the the points that they see in the resume outside of their acads, what are those elements that they actually see, and what are those elements that students should be working on? And do they see acads or no?
Yeah, ACADS is definitely one of the filters. But apart from that, every company or every domain has a specific criteria, like wherein people do look for a balanced CV. Like, it's not pure academics, you should be good at co-curricular also. Good leadership positions also help. So all in all, and a rounded CV helps, I would say.
Sure. And when we say the rounded CV, society work basically is right on top. Because, see, when I used to do my society, let's say finance committee, I know for a fact that we were very, very bullish. Yaar, 1 crore kar lenge. And then, in the end, after about a month, we were struggling to get even 10 lakhs. Right? And then the whole planning used to be sort of tossed out. Because if we were calling Sonu Nigam, now we'll have to settle for a tier 2, tier 3 singer. Right? And those adjustments, I think only students will be able to do, and they will also be able to, I think, engage with other students whom you have already set expectations that, hey, this will come, but now please settle for this. I think those expectations are also there.
It does teach you negotiation, stakeholder management, and even articulating your thoughts in a better way, which eventually does reflect in your interviews.
And where does competitions play a role? I mean, whether these are college competitions or maybe corporate competitions or so, I'm sure every one of you and everyone in this campus would be on Unstop participating in competitions. But what are those practical skills are these competitions teaching you? Outside of, yes, you will get jobs through competitions or so, but many a times you need to participate in maybe 10 or 20 competitions to ensure that you are figuring it out whether you want to do marketing, finance or so. So what are those elements that these competitions are teaching you?
I mean, one thing, like, other than the resume, obviously, one thing that I think that competitions do is that they give experience. Like, you get to go to different places, you get to interact with different people, and again, you get to participate in different types of competitions. So, the knowledge that you gain from it's the most random things that you'll learn, and that you might not if you're not participating in something, if you're only in your books. So one thing that I think is just the experience. I also tell this to my friends, or anyone that asks, that please go for the experience, because that is what adds value to you. And I think one thing that you asked was like what these societies or competitions even teach you. I think it would be the communication skills. I think a school student does not know how to go about talking to people, so be it write in written or verbal. I think communication skills are something that societies and all these competitions develop. Yes.
Yeah, what you said is very true of MBA colleges especially. So people always underestimate very small skills like PPT making. So PowerPoint is actually, I didn't think that would be a matter of skill when learning PowerPoint, but your skill in PowerPoint actually matters when you go for competitions. So there will be constraints where you have to put everything in 2 slides. There will be like maximum 2 slides, and the case study will be like, how will you change the Indian economy in 2 days, something like that. Like, you want me to tell how I will change the Indian economy in 2 days in 2 slides? So I have to put data there, I have to give a solution, I have to make infographics, I have to make it interesting. So that is one skill. Again, as I said, presentation skill also matters. So you are sitting in front of some competitions happen online, some you go there. So you're sitting in front of different panels. You need to be able to reach everyone. So let's say you are an engineer, you're probably talking about a lot of technical stuff. Maybe the panel wouldn't understand that. So you need to be able to understand what you have to exactly say. And these are the kind of things that actually matters, and kind of like everyone can score marks. And at the end of the day, when you sit for an interview, it's again presentation. You get what, 30 minutes, 20 minutes max. So in that 20 minutes, you need to learn to impress the panel. So
You know what, in these presentations, consultants are the best guys to create presentations, right? And we also used to condense, multiple facets of what we are talking about onto one slide. For example, I was talking to this person who was preparing for e-commerce, right? And an engineer, effectively, right? He participated in Flipkart, Amazon, and Walmart. Walmart is not purely e-commerce, but it is seen as the GCC, right? And then I was just chit-chatting with him over a cup of coffee, and he tells me that why I participated in all three of them was not to get not to get a job in e-commerce, because all these three companies come to my campus. But all these companies won't be coming on the single day. I need to choose which company, and I also need to figure out whether e-commerce is right fit for me. And I can only do that once I dive into those case studies, those problems that they throw at me.
It's more based on experience, like we talk to people and all of that. But yeah, case competitions do form an integral part of trying to know the domain better. And like it's basically an interface to the corporate world wherein we are dealing with real life problem statements, working on it. So it gives you an in-depth idea of what the work is going to look like.
And one person basically told me that these competitions are helpful for them to understand what not to do in life effectively. So what they really want to do, I think that's discovery, right? You may even get to know about that after maybe 2 to 3 years in your career, right? But definitely if you're exploring, you might be able to figure out what not to do in life.
For taking part in these competitions, my whole ideology was that I'll take part only in those competitions which I feel will be fit for me, or in which I have the probability of winning or something like that. But after I started taking competitions over the period of 2 years, 3 years, I realized it's more about experience than about winning or the title. So like now, I take in part in as many competitions as I can, and I just like, honestly, I love making PPTs. Like when you were talking about font and all, then I also realized that now I add more graphics in PPT than font and all. Yeah.
Also, so I'll just give an example. I went for one of my first ever case comps was at IIM Lucknow. We got lucky that we were in the finals, the only UG team there, and we felt the fact that we've gotten into the finals, our PPT would be making sense to the people who are, bringing us to the finals. But when we went to the campus and we were the last to present, and we saw all different IIMs presenting their PPTs, we realized the stuff that we have in 10 slides, they have it in one section of their first slide. So I feel although we did not really make it to the podium finish, but there was so much to learn, and just understanding, again, like you mentioned, what to put and what not to put in particular is when the content is considered, that really helped. So post that, when we participated in a competition organized by Symbiosis, we were very sure as to what is something that we want to talk about and not essentially write on the PPT, right? And that was something that even the judges applauded, that whatever was mentioned was something that should have been eventually. And more than that, the stuff that we already talked about, I think there's so much to learn in terms of the soft skills. Just that late night pressure as to tomorrow you have a presentation, right? Who the rehearsals and the teamwork that you learn is something I feel competitions really teach you, as well as societies. So I think
But in colleges, many a times, if you're creating teams for multiple subjects, and if you have 4 members in a team, the same team basically is taking all multiple subjects, and then you divide that this person will take up this subject. I hope in competition that doesn't really happen.
I mean, I think when you start, the onset is like that, but then eventually you get to know. So I would completely
You,
relate.
you would need teamwork to excel.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think since I started very, very late, so what happened was that I was largely making the PPT and the other team member was working on the research. But although if even if we were winning, we thought that there's a hollowness which is still present, right? So that person told me that maybe she'll help in the PPT side of things and I can also do a bit of research. That taught us a lot of things. Again, teamwork and team spirit as well.
At IIT Delhi, and this is in general as well, how do you define your dream company? That, hey, I want to get into this company. What's your dream company? And then what did you do to possibly figure out whether how should I get into that?
Talking about the actual scenario, there ain't any percentage of students who wish to get into a particular company. Yeah, of course, there are the big names that people generally aspire that if someone is going in SD role, then he might particularly aim for Google or maybe Microsoft or Amazon, right? But if someone's going for quant or HFTs, then they might aim for Optiv or Jane Street and that stuff. But I don't know how could we define a particular dream company, right? And talking about particularly my case or the batch of mine, we didn't get many options this time. Looking at the market scenario, like we had to accept what we got. We didn't even look at the JD. We didn't even look at the JD. We just applied for the company and
That is Jai Mata Di.
Jai Mata Di, and we went for the interview. So this was something like um but yes, that is the thing, like
But then puts me to the another question in terms of what should companies do to engage with students and sort of make themselves heard. See, when you talked about dream companies, right, my sense was not to have a name from you, right? My sense is what the Googles and the Apples and those dream companies of the world are doing, because of which they get your best mind share, right? What should other companies do?
So I think when it comes to this dream company talk, people have a kind of tunnel vision. So what they don't realize is they either like go for the big names, as you said, Google, Microsoft, or when you're consulting your McKinsey, EY, Deloitte, and everything. Or other things, some people have a role bias. They'll be like, I want to just go for this role. I don't want this role. They have some kind of a notion that that role is going to be bad from their previous experience or experience of some other people. So when you actually look at it, so in my case, I got a brand management role which I wanted, but the company, it's not really, it doesn't have a brand name. So it's like it suits me because it's a very near. It's not a, I wouldn't say it's a big company, so I can learn there. I can go to the CMO and just talk to him directly. So the learning curve will be huge there, and I'm also doing what I want. So in that scenario, it's kind of the same. So when the companies are coming, I think they have to be more transparent. That is, I think, the key here, because when you go through the placement cell and everything, it's like it happens so fast. Some people, they don't. Sometimes they don't even attach a JD, and it's very vague. So when they are coming for the placement talk, instead of talking about how our company has grown so far, because as an individual employee, I'm not concerned if you're achieving like 6% growth in how many new markets are going into, like right now it doesn't concern me. So what are you offering me and what I can offer you? So if they make it clear when they come to the campus, I think it will be more helpful.
And how do they put across their culture? Because that is also really, really important, because both needs to match, right? Any idea how a company should be putting across the culture to you, I mean, as students?
I think they should try and make the offering more aspirational for us. If I think from a company point of view, that what are you actually offering the employee, not only in terms of a salary and a role, but also in terms of their career progression. Like how are you actually helping them achieve where they eventually want to be. So I think that can be an important perspective to
Also,
look at.
there is a debate in many of the companies that if we restrict ourselves to only few campuses, let's say only 10 or 15 campuses, we may become aspirational because we are only limiting themselves. But the other view is that if we democratize our engagement in hiring in terms of open it up for all, then possibly we might be seen as, let's say, a good employer because I'm opening my doors to any student from any college. So, what are your views? I mean, each one of you, maybe just 30 seconds. Yes or no? I mean, do you go with democratized approach? You will favor a company which is opening its door to everybody or to selected institutes like IIT?
Yeah, I'd go with the second choice, right?
Only IITs.
Only IITs, or maybe there are some companies who don't even open for IITs but go for bids only. So I feel
There's
like that
some bit.
creates a strong desire to get, or maybe approach, or maybe at least look at how things work actually at that firm, right?
Someone who is exceptionally talented and who is a people pleaser, or someone, he's sitting in some tier 3 or tier 2 college, but he's not getting the chance to showcase what qualities or talent he's having within himself. So companies should generalize rather than choosing specific colleges, because everyone should get a chance, and especially as freshers.
Right. So I mean, I as a person definitely have the privilege of coming from a college like SRCC. But if I take it on an average, I believe an employer which adopts a more democratized approach will definitely receive. I mean, will be received very well off by the people who are applying for it, right? Because again, gives more chances for people from different backgrounds, and also not just say DEI, but also implement it eventually.
Personally, if I look at it from a student point of view, definitely a democratized approach, because best minds are there in all the colleges, not in the exceptional ones itself, and everyone has something unique to offer. But if I look at it from companies,
No, companies.
companies,
Okay.
companies' point of view, I understand, because it's difficult to go through a large pool of people and then filter out. So
I think that problem we can solve.
okay.
But it's just that
Competitions and Unstop comes into role.
no, the problem can be solved, but from the student point of view, I mean, do you aspire for a company that opens its door to everybody or to selective colleges, which includes affairs?
I think I don't think this is the factor. I think what's the role they are offering, even the pay and the career opportunity you will get when you are in the company. I think those are the major factors that will affect my choice.
I mean, as long as I'm in a tier 1 college and good companies are coming, I would rather go for like a more selective approach by the companies. And if like I am not in a tier 1 college, then I'd say like a democratic approach.
No, but see, selfish or no selfish, right? What you're aiming at is the end result, unfortunately, right? But what if you already have a job, right? Which company would you aspire for if they are open to all or to selective institutes? You already have a job. You're not getting for the job, right? The brand stands tall for the companies who are selective in nature, or should we open it up for all?
So like as she was saying, to answer the previous question and this, so there are a lot of factors for companies to decide where to go and what to do. But what I think is it's actually a problem for companies if they close it up to only a few campuses, because let's say 100 companies do this and they hire from a particular group of campuses, the students in those campuses will get complacent. Whatever I do, I'm going to land up in one of the top companies because they don't hire from anywhere. There are only 10 such institutes, and like I'm going to go there. I'm not going to develop my
institutes are also facing problems.
I'm not going to like compete anywhere or anything. I'm just going to sit, do my course, go to a good job, because the companies are not hiring from anywhere. So you also don't get a chance to actually look at the talent that's outside of those campuses and realize better people are there outside, or maybe the better people are in the campus.
I think my personal view is that when we have seen those journeys of the bigger so-called dream companies, Google's, Netflix of the world, what we have realized, and you can also do the research, they started off with opening their doors to everybody. Because when you open your doors to everybody, people start talking about you, right? When they talk about who you are, what you do, that's how your brand builds up. But we have seen in last 2 years approach getting democratized in terms of people opening their doors to everybody, because now the focus is hiring the right talent and the best minds for them. Okay, coming to my last topic, hiring process of all such companies, right? According to you, and we'll take maybe two thoughts, what is the best hiring process that you have seen companies implement? Or if you were the HR of the top tier company, what is that hiring process that you would like to implement? Anybody wants to give it a shot?
I have sit in many interviews. So according to me, the best one is like before starting the technical interviews and all, there should be a personalized interview like PI or GD with the HR and the company CEOs and all. Like we should get to know about each other, our thought process and everything, so that we as students get the clarity of the culture of company, and they can get a clarity of okay, what kind of students are we going to interview. Then we should start with the process. With respect to what domains we are applying for.
So essentially, they should tell you about who they are, what they do.
Like,
Then
it should be a fun
possibly
chit chat session so that we get comfortable with the company and we get to know each other. Then we can start. Like it's a very boring process that's going on right now, that they schedule online aptitude tests, then online coding interviews and all. Like we are talking with the computers for 2 months.
so उससे पहले ये होना चाहिए, but वो भी होना चाहिए. ठीक है.
And I think more of behavioral assessments should become a part of the hiring process. I sat for a company that came on campus, which was more towards the stock market side of things. So instead of having that usual traditional recruitment process, they had a game round where the applicants had to themselves, in a mock manner, buy and sell securities. I think putting the applicants in real world setting like this really helps, because then they get to know whether they would be able to kind of do it in the real world, right?
So you're essentially not saying in terms of behavioral. I think it's more to do with the case study approach, where you get to be evaluated on the actual profile that you would be doing.
Correct. But I think again, behavioral assessment should be a part, so as to judging the cultural fit of the candidate. That is also one of the things, and I think a lot of companies are already implementing this. The buddy round really helps to for the candidate to get to know the company even
That's
more.
why we have mentorships on our platform. So companies hopefully will get on to mentorships, and they will assign buddies through our platform to anybody who wants to get into those companies. They can sort of talk to them, figure out whether this company is suitable for them or not.
Like I'd like to add is like that we had already discussed earlier as well. It's the engagement part. Like there are some companies who come in for the role of APM at our campuses. So they ask to all the applicants to prepare a deck. They give a particular problem statement, and they gave a week's deadline. And eventually, all of us have to compete only on the basis of our deck, right? There ain't any CG criteria, nothing as such. They just want
So
the
go
best
beyond
people,
resume essentially.
right?
Resume should not be looked
Exactly.
at. Give you the actual problem that you will be solving, and then yeah, that's what we are doing. Yes.
Yeah, definitely agree with the problem statement or case study based approach, because gives the company an in-depth analysis of what the student is actually capable of beyond their academics. And also for like if we see it from a student point of view, it makes me engaged with the company in a better way. I know what they are actually doing in real world.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the first preliminary rounds, right, the MCQs and all, I believe, just to sum this up, first they need to tell you who they are, what they do in a more engaging manner, and your profile and all. I think that's the pushing bit, right, in a more two-way conversation. The second aspect that needs to happen from the company side of you is, if they have lakhs of application, they need somewhere to filter them, right? And that's where the basic MCQ coding or others help. But once they have drilled it down to maybe those 200 or 300 candidates whom they would want to go to the next level, then it might be a case study approach or maybe a direct discussion where they evaluate you on the job profile itself in terms of what you will be doing and maybe give a smaller problem. Okay, Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's been a long day. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this conversation, and hopefully together we'll be unstoppable. Thank you, viewers, for watching us. I enjoyed my conversation, and I hope you got some pearls of wisdom. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel as well. And as we all say, be unstoppable.